Hi everyone, it's Grant from Dome Music Technologies here. Just thought I'd make a quick video explaining the use of the Oscillator 1 base and Oscillator 2 base switches on the Bully Beef base oscillators. What I've got here is just Oscillator 1 in the mix, and I've got a spectrum analyzer up here, so if I just play some bass notes, getting the typical sawtooth waveform spectrum going off well into 9-10k up there, and you've got a healthy dose of all these harmonics. If you press a new key, it opens up the filter a bit and it lets through some higher frequencies. So it's quite a meaty sound as it is. What you've got is the option to cut out the fundamental frequency, which is this one here. So I'm playing a D note here, so the fundamental's about 75 Hertz, thereabouts. So if I was just to switch oscillator 1 to cut, you'll see that the fundamental disappears, and you're left with the second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on harmonics. In addition, you can put it back to normal, and then you can also give it an extra 6 dB of boost, so you get a very heavy sound coming out. You can see that it's quite a bit higher than the other ones. If I switch it back to norm, you're losing a few dB here. Back to boost, up it goes, and you can hear that it gets heavier. If I put it back to norm and introduce oscillator 2, I'll just put it to a 50-50 mix. So we've got a bit of detune going on here, so you can see all of the sort of comb filtering that goes on when you've got two oscillators very close to unison. So I'll just slow down the detune rate a bit. You can see the typical comb filtering response coming in here. What happens once the two base oscillators are 180 degrees out of phase, it actually cancels the fundamental. I'll try and catch it so that it see if we can get the fundamental to completely disappear. So you can hear it starting to go down in amplitude and then fade back in. If we want to avoid that situation, we can take the fundamental out of oscillator 1 or oscillator 2. I'll take it out of oscillator 2 for no particular reason. And what happens is, it doesn't matter what oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 are doing, the fundamental stays at exactly the same amplitude throughout the detune cycle. You can also boost oscillator 1, which restores that heavy bass, and it's rock solid. It's always at that amplitude regardless of what's going on up here. Really the only time you would ever want to cut the fundamental out of one or other of the oscillators is when you're in unison mode. I'll put it back to norm, and you'll see that the fundamentals bobbing up and down in amplitude, second harmonic, third harmonic, so on. If I was to switch up to the octave, then all you're seeing is the fundamental of oscillator 1 here, the second harmonic of oscillator 1 is interfering with the fundamental of oscillator 2 because it's at twice the frequency, being an octave up. So you don't really have to worry about cutting out the fundamental in one of the oscillators because you only have one copy of it, so it's not going to interfere with anything else. And it's the same for fifths. In fact, fifths, there's even less interference going on, so you'll see that you've got the first, second and third harmonic are all just absolutely static, and then, no, in fact this is the first harmonic, the 1.5 harmonic, so it's like a musical fifth up. Then you've got the octave, and then it's, once you come to the third harmonic, that is the octave of oscillator 2. It's the second harmonic of oscillator 2 interfering with the third harmonic of oscillator 1. And you have these other solid frequencies occurring because they don't overlap in terms of integer multiples of the harmonics. So every fourth harmonic you get these interference patterns, and as you change the detune knob, the rate at which they go up and down changes, and it's the same with the octave. So you'll see that some of them are nice and steady, whereas others are being amplitude modulated, and you can see the typical sort of comb filter profiles here. It's not as obvious as the case where the two oscillators are in unison, but you can make it out. There's nothing to stop you cutting the fundamental if you want, so that's taking out the fundamental of oscillator 1, and we can also take out the fundamental of oscillator 2 here. Sorry, so if I put it to a fifth, so that's the fundamental of oscillator 2, and we cut that out. And also we can boost harmonics if we want, so that's boosting the fundamental of oscillator 1 and boosting the fundamental of oscillator 2. And you can mix and match these as you like. So really, it's just something else to experiment with. So I hope you have fun with that, and I hope you found some use out of this video. So I'll see you later.